I'd be a little bit concerned as the performance they saw from players like Icon, the franchise player, alongside SMLZ, got caught out every other minute. But V5 fans, who are growing in numbers, they want to see that success continue on as we head into the Rift here to start off your week number 2, day 1. It's OMG taking on V5. Jayo! I'm sorry, there are none, ladies and gentlemen. We are in, of course, well, not us specifically, the players, back in the arena in Hongqiao. But the audience is empty for now, of course, for safety. But it is good to see the players back on stage, I will say, Dagda. It feels like we're getting back to normality here, which is a very nice touch. Now, running into this first game, you know what we talked about? We said, what is Mole going to be going here on the Twist of Fate? Well, it is the Unsealed Spellbook, and he's taken the Teleport, which is a much nicer choice. I know in the CB LoL last night, there was a bit of an Ignite Electrocute conundrum in the mid lane.
Yeah, that is basically if you want to go all out and you just think I can kill you, you go with the Electrocute. The Unsealed Spellbook works really nice in, one, giving you a bunch of options in this matchup, of course, helping TF just survive throughout. But as well, it means that then you've got the cooldowns that are coming in a lot faster on those summoner spells, so you can play the map a lot better with those teleports and destinies.
Very true. And for Mole, who had a pretty good first series of the split, we'll see how he performs up here against Icon, who himself didn't have the most successful. Looking towards the Zoe takeaway as well from Mole as well, but pause on that because Biubiu are going to walk into Curse here. And we talked a lot about the poke built up from OMG, Dagda. So now you're going to tell me at what points we should be looking for. Where does Hacker have to go, if anywhere?
So for Hacker, what you're trying to do at the moment is just keep track of Weiwei, because the moments when V5 are strongest is at these early stages before you've got like the Ezreal build coming through fully and you've got Zoe who's hit those 2 items. When they do hit those 2 items though, that's when OMG can come online. They can do so much damage, especially on Jayce, Zoe, Ezreal, all spike around about the same time, so they can look to punish V5 at that stage.
Team Rocket composition. We got V5 as well. Same players you remember from the first series, with a side note towards emphasis on Sam D and ppgod. This is the first champion outside of the Kalista that we've seen on Sam D here in the LPL, but everyone knows that Aphelios is overtuned. I don't know what word I was going for apart from that.
He's fun and interesting, is what I'll say. But looking at this top side of the map, Weiwei has cleared his bottom side jungle, pathing towards top red. Curse hasn't actually pushed in this wave as quickly as he'd like, so he's kind of overextended on this top side and could give the opportunity for Weiwei and Biubiu to set up something here. So I'm wondering how fast he'll be able to get up there. It looks like Hacker trying to sneak in here and see if he can spot out exactly where Weiwei is.
But he was spotted out. Nice little roam up from Mole, who was posturing aggressively himself. Weiwei now here to shadow Biubiu as that wave finally crashes, but every time Biubiu goes in, he gets punished pretty damn hard, as we've seen with the Jayce versus Renekton before.
This is a little bit of a skill matchup where if you can get onto the Jayce and he does miss position, you can do a lot of damage as Renekton. But I don't think Curse is going to give him that opportunity, especially as you can see already a huge amount of poke going down onto this Renekton. And he will struggle continuously underneath this turret, which is why, as we talked about already, Hacker trying to mirror Weiwei and make sure that he can keep his laners safe until they can get to that mid game.
Always sucks as a Renekton though, because when Jayce is in hammer form and he presses E on you and sends you backwards, pretty much then and there you're going, okay, well, we'll try another day. As Weiwei's down here on the bottom lane. There is a pushed in bottom wave from Sam D and ppgod, but Weiwei doesn't care. He's level 4. SMLZ and Cold on top of each other here with the next wave coming in, but Weiwei just positioning around the Crux.
Just trying to clear out some of these camps and try and steal away as much as possible, but we'll get spotted now by Hacker.
Hacker's here. Weiwei doesn't have the smite available, nor does Hacker, so it's going to be an auto battle here. As back and forth with the end of the line, and it's going to be secured. SMLZ and Cold pull on back to add a bit of pressure. Nothing really happens from there.
I was watching mid to see if Icon was going to go aggressive on Small there, but yeah, either way, these are things you can do as Weiwei. Just get in aggressive. You know that Hacker can't really go too heavily against you on that bottom side, and you've got so much damage and escape from this Jarvan that you're going to be totally fine.
Oh god, Biubiu. The camera's going to stay up here because he's on 8CS, folks. Curse playing this matchup very, very well, right? The aggression we talked about from Curse as a player is why we like him as a top laner. He aligns himself with the individual players like the Shy, like Zoom in certain cases as well. Like even, what did we see? It was Biubiu in the first matchup that we saw at the split.
We will see, though, just as we start to move into the next kind of jungle routes coming through here, that Hacker has gone towards his top side. So, oh, actually might just be going straight for a gank here. I was going to say might try... Oh, Here we
Biubiu
go.
wants to put down a ward, flag and drag, and remember he doesn't have that much resistance now, has to flush away. That was bad timing for Biubiu, and this lane for OMG looking mighty fine.
So what you...
Ooh, big ppgod, okay. Alright, there's going to be a cleanse away from SMLC.
A nice hook from ppgod, and you can already see this is why we are talking these guys up so much. They are in an aggressive lane where they can look to take over, but already that CS advantage coming out pretty heavily in their favor.
It really is. Dagda, you know I'm going to focus a lot of this early game on that top side because the camera will keep taking us back there. Weiwei, after burning the flash, goes back to his own jungle. He's about a camp behind against Weiwei. Sorry, I was talking about Hacker there, and that means a level at the moment as well. As the Graves towards the top side, and finally Biubiu gets to push out and get some minions. Still 17 behind, but hopefully that'll edge itself out as he pushes it against the turret.
Mole rolling down bot side? Or I can't even roll down bot side here.
It's okay for now. Depends on the troll bubble. Could dodge away by Sam D and ppgod as the proto belt that was picked up is to push them out of lane. So the back will come through.
And it will give the opportunity now for Cold and Icon, or SMLZ, to push out this lane. But Icon is losing minions and experience in this mid, alongside giving a bunch of gold over towards Mole. And as a TF, where you've already invested into the Merc threads to try and avoid some of these ganks that are coming through, that extra bit of gold will help you get the Catalyst and work up towards that Rod of Ages really nicely.
Also notice the Demolish taken here with Inspiration as the primary, secondary tree into the Resolve. So we don't have anything like the Nimbus Cloak we've seen before. So
what it does mean is that it's doubling down on this split push, because when you go for this Resolve tree, you take the Demolish and then you take the Bone Plating. So this means that Mole is all in on this split push, so we'll probably see him go that Rod of Ages into Lichbane, then finish off the Zhonya's, just so he can be a nuisance on the side lane. And I think this is great. We already talked about it. If you start to just group up around these objectives as V5, you are going to struggle. No heavy engage to get onto OMG, and they'll poke you out. So just play a side lane, force them to play around the map, and you can ease that burden a little bit.
Now that Mole has his ultimate available, moves out of vision after pushing the wave with ppgod coming mid. So the pressure going to start being applied now that Destiny is available. Weiwei going for the invade here as well to take blue away from Icon. And because Hacker's not here, this looks pretty secured. ppgod already making his movements known up towards this top side. V5 say, we have an issue up here. We're going to resolve it. We're going to start giving Biubiu a bit more attention.
OMG picking up that dragon is really good for them, because it means that when we start to look towards... Actually, I'm going to hold on to this point.
Yeah, he has flash available, but does he want to use it? Icon has his own, and cleanse there as well. Just pressuring him off yet again. While Sam D's like, I'm cool down bottom lane, don't worry.
Going back to the point, though, that when you start to get to those two items, there's going to be, you know, that soul point starting to spawn. You'll be looking towards some of the more aggressive and stacking dragons that you're going to want to look towards as OMG. So having that first dragon really does give them a nice lead into that strong mid game that we were talking about.
We're talking about 1-2 items there as well. So for OMG, a team that can pretty much poke down V5 around these objectives, seems pretty difficult for V5 to contest. But having said that, we look towards the bottom side. With V5 getting the shove here, it looks like SMLZ and Cold were kind of just forced back. That means 2 bits of plating here for Sam D and ppgod.
That's amazing for V5.
Bloody big.
And this is the thing, is usually we see this trade when OMG have committed towards moving towards the Rift Herald or picking it up, but this is just V5 and Sam D punishing this bottom lane, having the expertise to actually get that timing. And now you still have the potential for Weiwei to go up and contest on this Rift Herald that Hacker has started.
And it's not even the only lane that's succeeding. While we are looking towards the Herald, I mean, mid gets another bit of plating as well for Mole with a CS lead. Top doesn't look so bad anymore because Destiny's come through. The gold card locked him down. The flash was already burnt with Dominus cursed under turret. Doesn't matter. V5 turn around that top lane.
And this is a bad back timing from Icon. He ended up moving home so that then he'd be able to pick up this this first item for himself. But the problem is, Mole at the shove in, gets up towards that top lane, and you can see Hacker had already started up that Rift Herald to try and secure some sort of answer for the plays that V5 are making. But now you're, well, I thought they were going to start up at least on that Rift Herald, but still, you're getting Mole that first gank off, and it's so crucial as a Twisted Fate to get that ball rolling, because if you're not able to make these successful ganks happen, you'll start losing out pretty heavily as V5 in these early stages.
What can Hacker do? He started the Rift Herald before, now he's going back to it, but this is on a ward. Very obvious to the side of V5 that this is being done, but Mole still hasn't reset. The teleport was used before, but he's still here in the mid lane with Catalyst of Aeons, and Weiwei hovering around. Doesn't look like their option is to take the Rift Herald. They're going to give that one over to OMG as well. So 2 objectives at the cost of a gold lead here in the early game for OMG.
So V5 didn't want to start it off to begin with because Kerr still had that teleport, and we already talked about, hey look, if V5 are in and around these objectives, it makes it super easy for Curse and Icon to poke them out. And I think as well, look at V5's, like the scaling at least that they have in their jungle and on their Aphelios. They don't really want to be fighting just yet because you're still waiting on items to come in for Sam D, Mole, and Weiwei has just finished his jungle item off of that.
Brush going to be stopping the back here of ppgod. He just presses it again. He's going to try once more. Note that while we see backs coming here from the bottom lane of V5, I want to look at the items, but Sam D's like, not just yet. So we'll pause on that one because he's been sitting on a BF sword in a while. But Mole, he's gone back. He's picked up the Rod of Ages that's going to start stacking now as well. One of the first items on Summoner's Rift here for a laner.
I want to see Mole now using this pressure that he has mid lane though to get down into this bottom side, because yes, you've been pushing in a lot on this our bottom turret, but if you can get Sam D and ppgod ahead, you're going to do far better than if you just put Biubiu ahead. Evened out that lane a little bit, helped this Renekton get towards some of his items, but realistically, we already said Renekton would just be a meat shield. That's all he's going to be able to do in this game. You've got to get the rest of your Aphelios and your Graves rolling instead.
That's what Weiwei seems to be looking towards. I mean, ppgod has been roaming between mid and bot. It's been pretty exciting to see that Sam D confident enough to sit on his own in that bottom lane while they had pressure to Mole's lane. They look to be shadowing and trying to pick up the movements of Hacker, who is sitting opposite Brush. You can see V5, a different play in mind. Cold in a difficult position if he gets caught out here. Over the wall they go, spotted out in a ward, and Dagda, are you ready to dive? Destiny's going to come through behind the turret. They flash away immediately. Rather arcane shift. Still the flash in hand as Cold gets flayed on back. The box down. They won't let him return to his master. And again, V5 strike fast. This time a double kill to Sam D.
They are playing this composition so well. You've now got them snowballing so quickly, a 3,000 gold lead for themselves. And when OMG are trying to get towards those two items, V5 have suddenly injected a bunch of gold to let them get to the 3 items where they'll start to take over.
I'm ready for Season 10 this game. Sam D is humongous. 115 CS. He's now got a bounty on his head after 2 kills, and he just picked up the solo turret Burst Blood. Big Aphelios here for V5. Big TF as we saw before. That top lane doesn't matter. Biubiu, and as you said perfectly before, Biubiu was evened out in that top lane with that gank. And now V5 going to get the dragon as well, turning it into an Ocean Rift with said Aphelios. Do not give that to them, OMG. Do not. That would be absolutely terrifying.
Especially for the composition OMG is running. They're reliant on this poke, on forcing back V5. So if you give an Ocean Soul across this team, well, they're going to be so happy because they're just going to heal back everything that you tried to land on them.
Got an Infinity Edge now for Sam D as well with Ezreal. Dagda, that was off the turret and the double kill.
So sick.
Very, very large man there. And while the Rod of Ages is stacking up in the mid lane, Seeker's Arm Guard is added towards the inventory of Mole, who's now actually managing Curse in this top lane. Biubiu going towards the bottom side to react to SMLZ and Cold.
And one of the things that impressed me about V5 in their last game was how well they were able to snowball when they got ahead against DMO. It was clear that they had this game plan, they knew where they wanted to put their advantages, and even in the game 2 against DMO where they fell behind, they did a great job of turtling and playing the map super smart. Now you have the opportunity with your TF looking great. He can play off towards the side lane. And as well, you've got Sam D, who's rushing towards these 3 item Aphelios.
But I'm curious as to what OMG go for here. They've got turret plating available. They share the gold 2 seconds before it expires. Herald won't take the full turret, but the grouping up here of OMG, we're going to now start seeing some of the poke that V5 were fearing. Even without those core items built up, OMG group up.
Mole has done a good job responding here. He's in that top lane though and playing off to side, so it forces OMG to dismantle this group effort that they have in the mid lane because they've got to deal with this top lane push. Otherwise, as we said, you've got good wave clear coming through from Weiwei. He's got the end of the line, and you've got Sam D who can help push these out with an Infernum. So overall, this non-Baron Duff push is never really going to come too much and will give Mole time to push in these sides.
Holy dooly though, look at the gold down at the bottom of your screen. 1280 on the side of V5 here for this game 1 early game as Probably was going to land, but at this point I'm not sure Icon can do too much to Biubiu, who was building for that armor top lane. Still not enough damage from Mole at this point. V5, their response is going to be towards this top side, and they're going to be leading 2 turrets to 0 with OMG being very passive. OMG losing out in the trades once again.
And I'm surprised here to see the build that's coming through from Mole. We talked about how strong this Lich Bane can be for a side lane push on Twisted Fate, but I think he's a little bit scared that with the pushing power that OMG have right now, where they're trying to play underneath the turrets. Wait, no one saw it, okay. How far you can have these lanes pushed in by OMG, the hacker can just swing by and do a quick drive-by gank. So going with this Zhonya's instead to just try and keep himself safe and buy more time for V5 to get some sort of counter push or map pressure elsewhere.
Which is now complete as well, by the way. Also, like, against Curse, who's probably, you'd say at this point, one of the most dangerous members on the side of OMG. Wants to deal with him thusly. And with the Zhonya's Hourglass, a lot of that lethality is going to be cut in half. So at this point, with 2 items now on the mid laner, 2 items also on Sam D, who has the Renan's Hurricane. We're looking towards that next dragon in 1:45. And Dagda, we talked about this a little bit earlier. We talked about what V5 can do in this game if we get towards the later stages. But more importantly, around these objectives for a team like OMG, who have that poke available, it's going to be curious.
Muscle?
Weiwei? Well, a bit of muscle involved, I will agree. Destiny's going to be used. But where is Destiny? Well, he's up towards the top side.
The big thing about this next dragon is you're going to really see OMG start to come online. We talked about those 2 items. Well, you can already see the Sheen in the pocket of SMLZ. You're going to have our Icon who come back as well before the fight happens to pick up another, at least half item for himself. So this is where OMG are super strong. So I think V5 are doing the smart thing here, which is pick up the Rift Herald just before it starts. And what it'll give you is the opportunity to just say, cool, you guys have your second dragon. We don't care. We're going to use this Rift Herald elsewhere on the map. And now you get these inner structures down, or even this mid-turret down, and this split push pressure takes on a whole new level.
I will also say, even if V5 contests the dragon, wouldn't you be scared as OMG at this point too? I mean, they're so far ahead. They are 5,500 gold up. That Herald's going to push that even further up. So at this point, I'd say maybe it's not on the cards anyway.
I mean, it is. I think you just want to wait one more Zeal item coming in for this Aphelios, and then you'll be good to go.
He finished
it's just,
goal.
yeah, I know. He is very close to getting to that stage, and that's scary if you're an OMG fan.
Oh, if you get caught out, though, that's going to be a very different story. We'll just throw it up in the air anyway. You can see OMG, 2 members down the bottom line here in Hacker and Curse. Icon spotted top side, but pings are going down mid. V5 have a very fast push, and with the Rift Herald here as well, pressure added.
And where's OMG? They're only starting to scramble across this, but the tower will certainly go down off of this Rift Herald. And now they'll be the ones that can move in first, get control over this river. But look at the vision, crucially. We already said OMG need to be slowly getting control of these objectives so that then they know where all members of V5 are. Because where Biubiu's positioned right now, he's a great flank.
You've got the Scuttle Crab available, but even in vision, they don't even care. So it's going to be running down the mid lane here for OMG as their final call. They will get the turret as a trade, and finally their first turret of the game.
Mole is going to take one for himself. Demolish, he's going to work through these towers so easily, and you can see no response from OMG. I'll take that trade any day.
Even without the Lich Bane, which is well and truly on its way. So, Mole, the level 12 Twisted Fate. OMG have sent Curse down to deal with him, but you're right, turret goes down, and it is a trade in the end for OMG, one that is unfavorable for them. Ocean secured, V5 heading towards that Ocean Soul in 2 Dragons' time.
And now we've got to look at the Baron that's going to come up as well, because ideally OMG would want to get this. You know, Baroned ups, when you're going for these sieges, makes OMG's comp absolutely obnoxious, but trying to get that Baron is the big issue here, because if they ever enter the pit, V5 can go for it.
I know, Curse is dead.
Yeah.
He's walked too far. Kaboom. So, you know what? Good attempt at trading here. Flash over the wall. Collateral damage. Oh, hang on. Not dead. Don't listen to Casters. What are you doing? He goes a bit too far forward. And first mistake out of E5 there. Curse survives, making it a trade until Biubiu teleports in. And I tell you what, he lasted a lot longer than I thought he would.
I'm not sure why Biubiu teleported in, though, to be honest. Icon's now going to, after all this shenanigans, get this top lane tower. So it's a bit more gold over towards OMG, but yeah, I'm not sure what was the point in wasting all this from V5.
Okay, well, just like we saw in their very first series
There's
against
some
Teemo.
hiccups along the way. There's some hiccups. It's still good from V5, though. I mean, you can already see it. A 5,000 gold lead. Now this Aphelios is really starting to come online. Lich Bane is starting to come through for Mole. And this is where the V5 comp will start to really struggle. OMG will really struggle against the comp V5 have, because their side lane pressure is going to be on point. They have great wave clear already. And unfortunately, OMG, this is the same problem that we saw from them against RNGs. not really able to get anything going for themselves in the early game and falling behind as a result.
Yeah, lack of direction has been there so far for OMG. But also note we're heading towards the 2-item point here out of some of the carries in Icon, SMLZ, and Curse. Manamune, or Muramana, sorry, is complete by SMLZ. Icon has the orb ready to turn into the devilish item. An Iceborne option here for the Ezreal as well. So we'll see. We've got 2 minutes and 40 seconds to decide. Baron sitting up there and waiting as well. Sam D's just been sitting mid for about 10,000 years. And the level 12 Aphelios has his second Zill in the making. With a redemption on board here for ppgod. So good news stories. We've just got to wait. Yep, make sure Baron's not being taken.
And the thing for OMG, where we're talking about that 2-item spike, where you've got, as you said, the Oblivion Orb coming through, you've now got the 2 items on the Ezreal. Usually this is where they'd be really strong, but because V5 have been so heavily accelerated, that power spike has started to drift off a cliff. And this is a big issue, because as long as V5 don't give OMG the opportunity to poke them out where they try to sneak a quick Baron or something along those lines, they should be fine to just play around these side lanes.
Yeah, and we know how important it is for Vision here with poke compositions. V5 narrowly missed out from the engage there. Troll Bubble's going to land. Biubiu actually caught on out. Dominance used, locked on down. Everything used here from OMG, but they get their first kill of the game, and V5 are forced back.
All they had to do was not group. That was all they had to do here. And V5 run straight into the hands of OMG here. You still have Mole down on this bottom side trying to push, but he wasn't in a position to try and create any pressure. And V5 just gifting over kills and shutting down a lot of the map pressure they just managed to get for themselves.
They send the man with the teleport, the Jayce and Curse with 2 items down to receive that bottom wave. Teleport available. OMG hovering around now, getting vision around that Baron, which for the longest time they did not have. And after Mole clears that out, they walk back up. For V5, direction where?
Well, ideally, they want to still try and have Mole down on this side lane, keep the wave as close to that bottom turret as possible. The bigger issue here, though, is trying to avoid situations like this, where OMG spot out where everyone in V5 is, you've no way of engaging on them, and they can have Hacker play front line. So this is, as you can see, where the poke starts to take on, where they can play very aggressive. If, as V5, you start to go towards this Baron, you're just going to keep giving OMG the opportunity to play in their top blue side and just poke you out, keep you at bay. And this is why you can struggle pretty heavily against poke compositions on this blue side.
You can also note that like when those items get towards second, third, OMG find their way back into this game, then like a V5, without that Ocean Dragon, without, I guess, the Baron as well, it'd be very hard for them to deal with. At this point, SMLZ sitting mid with Icon. Vision still maintained around the Baron, mixed of course, but Dragon is coming up.
I'd love to see Mole rotate up towards this top side, and as that Dragon is coming up and you're getting towards soul point for V5, allow Mole to create pressure and try and get that second turret in the top side while all this dancing is going on.
I mean, he's got the Ghost, he's got Exhaust. Remember, Unsealed Spellbook here for the TF. It looks like right now clearing out Vision. So OMG confident to push up mid, but Dragon's going to be started here by Weiwei in the bottom side. And OMG have no interest in this. They might have actually found Mole. Curse versus Mole. Lethality's there. Destiny used to try and get out. Curse can't stop him in time. And Mole will escape before Icon gets there.
They spotted Icon on the ward, though, which is why you saw Mole just peace out. Wanted nothing to do with it. It gives V5 the Dragon, though. They're now on soul points, and we said already, these Ocean Dragons counter OMG so well. You're just healing everything that OMG throws at you.
And one more towards the soul. 5 minutes, folks. And at the 24-minute mark, still, V5 maintain that gold lead here by about 6,000 in their first game against a team that's not DMO. So we wanted to see what it was like.
Are we going to see V5 pick up 2 games in a row?
I don't know,
like,
sir.
I don't know if I'm ready for this.
I think after seeing Biubiu I think after seeing V5 int a little bit up there on the top side, I'm not sure. And even Weiwei getting caught out now here with the lost chapter. Hook's going to land, but Curses in as well as the Wombo starts flying. OMG have their poke set up here as Sam D finally makes his way in as well, but they're choked up in the middle of this pit. And now Biubiu attacks them immediately. 3 dead in the blink of an eye. Never mind. Sam D still massive.
OMG have missed their opportunity. They even go into a pit for no reason, which allows V5 to collapse on top of them. V5 now will turn towards this Baron. Icon and SMLZ will have to do everything they can to try and poke them off.
I mean, poke the key word once again to use. ppgod lands the hook though. Icon has to cleanse away. Mole ready to go on in as well. Baron continues. SMLZ and Icon at full health. but they're going to be pulling off. They don't want to risk it, and so they're going to give V5 the Baron here in game 1.
And now this push just takes on an entirely new level for V5. You have a Baroned up Lichbane Twisted Fate who can play down towards that bottom side of the map, put pressure onto that inhibitor turret, while the rest of V5 can look to answer in that mid and top side of the map as well. But you can see here they try to get on towards Weiwei, but the whole idea of this comp is to have Hacker as the last piece, the finisher, after all the poke has come through. But when he just starts off the engage trying to get a pick, it means V5 can collapse so easily because OMG are dragged into a fight with V5. And V5, because of the composition they have, will always come out on top.
Bottom lane showing up again, though, here for V5 alongside Mole. So, very good news story. If we're seeing that kind of coordination out of a team that had absolutely none in spring, it's already a massive level up. Baron now in the hands here of V5 after we saw in the replay. 9k gold lead here at 26 minutes in the game as well. Fourth item on the way for Sam D, who's holding onto a BF sword. That'll be a GA soon enough.
Interesting one as well is that Twisted Fate build for Mole. He's going for the rapid fire cannon, so looking to be more of a utility.
Okay, well that was weird from Hacker. He kind of misses. Curse might actually find himself dead from Biubiu, who bullied him all game long. Golden in the nick of time through the true shot barrages. Mole has now come in, and he's turned the favors as well. Biubiu flashes on, and he's feeling himself. What an early game he's gone through. No more. Destiny used, and Mole wants forward into this one. SMLZ and Cold. Where is he? He's gone mid.
They don't care about the top lane. You've got Weiwei battling through bot. You've got the rest of V5 in the mid lane. It's over.
Yep, they walk through mid, and V5, the story continues, huh? We thought one series, that was massive. But against OMG, they show up. They've had control of this game all day long. And now here in game 1, they'll take the Nexus and move to match point.
You said it perfectly, Hysterics. It never looked like V5